Hey everyone, we're starting. It's past 7:05 actually. I'm sure you guys want to head home soon. And after you guys eat and drink, help us finish up the food here. Unless it's going to go to the homeless, and you guys make for that as well. But other than that, we're going to get started. My name is Johan Borch, the co-founder of the TechMap and this meetup we started back a while back. And we do this with our awesome volunteers and my beautiful wife, Nika. You guys kind of wonder what those red or green, blue dot, yellow lines are. Well, that represents what you are and what other people can connect with you with. So if you're looking for a developer, then you want to talk to somebody that is wearing a red dot, right? If you're wearing several dots, then you're supernatural, man. Sorry. But anyways, green is investors. Most likely they're all going to talk to you. Blue is entrepreneur. So anybody has a startup or an idea and looking for a developer. And yellow is media and other students. That's basically what those dots stands for. We do this once a month here at Capital Factory. And if you guys don't mind me asking, how many of you are new to this? Stretch your hands. Wow. Good. Keep coming back. Enjoy the food. And we'll have more drinks and stuff to do as well and other events. So just a little, events that are coming up are Austin, August 10th. It's going to be here again at Capital Factory. Now, usually we get a full house like this or more. Chicago, we had one this month. And I was just in Therapy Labs, and we're going to have the next one on October 26th. And then we're going to be launching in LA as well, because we know there's talented people there, and we want to make sure that you guys connect with them. And the only way to do that right now is online with the TechMap. And if you're ever in town in those locations, definitely meet and make it there. We're actually going to be hosting this in LA before the Tech Week. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Tech Week. It happened in Chicago back in July. It was an awesome event. It's kind of like South by Southwest when it first started. Really small, but really good people that make it. And it was held at 1871, so it was a good venture to be at. If you guys don't mind, put your phones in mute so we don't have any interruptions from the presenters. And also, if you don't mind, just tweet that you're here at Capital Factory, the TechMap, hashtag the TechMap, and say if you guys are liking the food or anything at all. If you're hating it, don't put it, please. If you want to pitch, go to the TinyURL TechMap, and we'll welcome any pitches, any type of companies, anything that you might be looking for to present up here. And just to bring up a couple of the sponsors and partners, while we can actually have this event here. Of course, Capital Factory provides the space and lets us do this once a month, and also markets for us to their members that we're doing this, and we're just trying to build a community up here. Then we have Pitch Deals, which is actually a startup that I'm doing. I'm looking for developers, so if you're a mobile guy, talk to me afterwards. Microsoft provided the great food from Subway. And then we have Truja Promo provides the marketing shirts, hats, whatever we might be wearing that says TechMap, that comes from them. And the Pitch Academy, Melissa, which I bring over later on, she's going to be doing the host. In Kiss Pen, we have Deborah, if you want to come up here for a second and just say what you guys do.
Thanks. Hi, well, thanks everyone. Great to be here. KISS Patent provides affordable, cost-effective solutions for software startups who want to get a patent. We're flexible, easy to work with. We don't try to bamboozle you with legalese, and we can quickly get you to patent pending. So please come and stop by afterwards if you have any questions. I'm always happy to talk to people about patents and software. Thanks.
Thank you, Deborah. And I think she's going to be doing something at WeWork, right? Some presentation?
Yes. I'm going to have office hours tomorrow afternoon at WeWork from 1 to 4.
So you definitely want to check with her. She actually, I know you guys know that Facebook started with Facebook, right? Well, we started with the TechMap, and she helped us IP TechMap. So we're going to take over the domain name TechMap soon. So just to give you a heads up, that's how we use their service. The next person I wanted to bring up is any previous speaker that was here. You come up here and say how their status is. I think that we have pop-up way.
Yeah.
Hi everybody, my name is Brian Thomas. I was here a couple months ago with our co-founder presenting Pop-Up Play. And what we do is we blend virtual world creativity with real world play for kids. Our first product is a experience for kids to be able to design their own custom playscape. They actually design it in an iPad app, and then we manufacture it, ship it to their house. They get to actually play in a full-size playscape that they design. Yeah, looks like that. We were here 2 months ago, the night before we kicked off our Kickstarter, and I'm happy to say we raised $25,000 on that, which was good. Thank you. Hardest thing I've ever done, without question. And so we're now, next steps for us, we're now raising a seed round of funding. And we're also still looking for developers with experience in Unity and implementations of Parse with Unity, or just, if you know Parse well. And so that's where we are. Thanks.
Thank you.
Check out our website, popupplaytoy.com, and sign up for our newsletter. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. So this is the second Kickstarter presented up here. I guess you guys remember the guy with the lamp. He actually raised, I think it was 30,000? Yeah, he raised $30,000. His first goal was 20. He failed, came back, got feedback from you guys, and he was able to raise more than that. So 30,000. So, you know, we couldn't do it without you guys' support and all the feedback you guys provide, and also the connections you guys put us through, all the good network that we do here before and after the event as well. Just to go back to the slide here. So the way this works, by the way, do we have any other previous presenter that wants to come up? No? Okay. Maybe next time you guys come up here and pitch, and you want to give you a heads up or where you guys are at with your business. But the way it works, we got a 5-minute presentation. All the presenters will come up here and present. Then afterwards, we get the audience to give a feedback, 4 minutes. And then we got to be out of here by 9 o'clock. We usually finish around 8:30 or before that, so we have 30 minutes to network, and then we can hit the bar downstairs and help us finish this food and drinks what you had here for 30 minutes. So just take it home if you want, but just don't drink and drive. And again, if you want to pitch, just come to team at the Tech Map, email us your pitch deck, and we'll get you right in there. And this is the companies that are going to be presenting. And I think at this point, I'll get Melissa to come in and say the rest.
Welcome, everyone. Really excited to see all these brand new faces. This is one of my most favorite events in Austin, Texas. I founded the Pitch Academy about last year, hooked up with Johan a few months later, and I help entrepreneurs and young professionals pitch themselves and their ideas. And so I fell in love with this event because it provides kind of a low stress, low pressure way to pitch your startup while getting really fantastic feedback from the audience, meeting a number of people that can potentially help you with your startup and answer any questions that you have about your business plan or the way that you are designing something on the back end, etc. So this is a great place to network. Really fun. So we're gonna have fun tonight. Looking forward to hearing all the pitches and hearing your feedback. We'll have about 4 minutes of question and answer session where you can ask the entrepreneur questions. And we'll make sure that we stay on time, however, so we can get a bunch of really good conversations afterwards. So first up, we have first year registry, Libby Channel. Channel, okay, here you go. And you are looking for investors, developers, basically everybody.
No, I'm looking for engineers, developers, and designers. So come talk to me afterwards.
I'll bring up the presentation.
Perfect. Up. Perfect. Okay, so I'm Libby, as she mentioned, and I'm here with First Year Registry to tell you about my business. But before we get started, I wanted to just quick poll everyone here, if it's been at your house or a friend's house or anywhere but a restaurant, how many of you guys have dined in the past 2 to 3 months on like fine, fancy china? All right, 2, 3 out of the whole group. Yeah, so this is perfect. This is exactly kind of the idea that I started my company based on. It's the idea that no one wants that stuff anymore, but the wedding registry business, the industry hasn't caught up. So what are we left with? In wedding registries, if you guys are familiar or not, there's a few different options. So first, you register for that step anyway, because it's what we're supposed to have as fancy real adults, even though you don't really want it or won't use it. The second is that you register for stuff that you really want, but that no one wants to get you. Things like sheets and Tupperware, really boring. And the third is a new market it's relatively new in the past 10 years, which is honeymoon registries or cash registries, which are great, but really it's pretty ingenuous in that you're really getting cash, a cash transaction with the kind of guise of an experience on top of it. So not very fun. So first year registry is born. Oh.
Back and forward. There you go.
Oh, here we go. So what it is a date night registry that was created for modern couples to provide an experience rather than stuff. So help people collect memories instead of clutter. And it really is aimed at 3 different markets. So one is the newlyweds, that, you know, we're helping them extend that newlywed bliss long after they're back from their honeymoon. The second is for gift givers that want to provide something really special that creates an emotional connection, and you know, they're kind of bored with the options out there. And the third is local businesses that want to bring in incremental revenue, but not in a way that devalues their brand in the way that a lot of deal sites can do. So how does it work? Well, couples come to the site and they can get excited about planning out their first year of marriage together through all of these adventures that they're going to have with local partners. So think dinner at Lenoir or Barley Swine, going to museums, that sort of fun date night. You know, they're selecting everything, adding it to a registry, and then the beautiful part about a registry is that to make it work, they have to share it with everyone that is invited to their wedding, which in the US averages about 200 people. Free marketing, yay. And then, you know, those people come on and purchase a gift, and 2 weeks after the wedding happens, the couple receives this fun box filled with all of these gift cards for their year together. Eventually, you know, we want to add functionality like concierge service to help with the scheduling, automated card personalization, so you can kind of link the addresses with the experiences to provide thank you cards. But that's how it works. And what is the size of the opportunity? So do people want this thing? Well, about 2.3 million people get married every year in the US. It's a $19 billion market. In Austin alone, not including the suburbs, it's 29 million every year spent on wedding registries. In the top 15 markets, it's just north of 850 million every year, so it's a big market. And do people want experiences? Yeah. So about 80% of millennials say that they'd rather have experiences instead of stuff. And experiential spending is at the highest point that it's ever been. So over the past 30 years, spending on experiences relative to spending on other things has increased 70%. In addition, millennials are living together already 75% of the time when they're engaged. So, and most of the time it's in small urban apartments, so they don't have space for stuff anyway. So they're looking for experiences. The dollars are out there, but there's no way to connect the two yet, which is what first year registry will do.
You have 1 minute.
Okay. And last is how we make money. So I took, flat commission from partnership with all of the experience providers, restaurants, that sort of thing. And then eventually, as we add goods in the future, that would be added to a registry as a date. So a waffle maker would be breakfast in bed, that sort of thing. Because we get that some people do have a few last things, then it's a standard affiliate revenue. And then me, why should you work with me? All of you developers and designers out there. I come from a background in building businesses at Amazon, Target, and Instacart. And so I've been out there, I've been doing this, and I'm really excited about this new opportunity, and I hope that you are too. So email me, libby.channel@gmail.com, tweet at me at firstyearwedding on Twitter.
Thank you. Any questions?
All right, who has the first question for Libby? Fantastic pitch. Yeah. Hang on just 1 second so we can all hear you.
Have you got any competitors or
people who are doing exactly the same or something that's very close?
Yeah, so I mentioned 3 different types of registries that are out there right now. By far and away, the biggest is traditional registry, which is like Macy's, Target, that kind of thing. They still have the biggest market share, but it's steadily declining. So over the past year, it's been declining a lot. What's picked up is the non-traditional. So things like Zola Registry, Blueprint Registry, if you've heard of those, still are registries for stuff, but they try to have artisan, what is that, artist goods? Yes, thank you. Goods and that sort of thing. Where there are experiences available, they're either cash, which is not what we're trying to do, or it's a national thing, like a partnership with Handy to give you home cleaning services. So nothing like this quite exists.
Okay, and have you spoken to providers of experience to validate the business model you expect to have?
Yeah. So both to kind of validate the percentage, the commission that I want to charge, to make sure that it's within their profit margins, and that they would believe in this as an incremental revenue source. Yeah.
Question over here.
Yeah.
So if I understand correctly, once the registry is, closed out, they get a set of gift cards in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
As we know, most people actually don't use the gift cards, and so it kind of undercuts the value proposition. How do you plan to get around that?
Well, if you're registering for a gift card, you're signing up to say, I want this item. So unlike typical gift cards that are provided as gifts, that's like your aunt, Irene sending you a gift card because they think, I get them all the time for restaurants that aren't even in Austin. So I'm like, thanks, aunt, but I can't use this. When I'm signing up for something, I'm saying, I want this item. Otherwise, I'm not going to sign up for it. There is a, can I use this thing, and help with scheduling that. I think that's an opportunity for down the line, but not for kind of the MVP. Yeah. Cool. Thanks for your questions, guys.
Other questions? We have time for one more. At least one more. All right, back here.
Are you guys twins or something?
My question is regarding experiences that you get from Groupon. How do you differentiate yourself from Groupon or others?
Yeah, well, I think a couple of big ways. It's a great question. So Groupon and sites like that offer, the kind of the biggest experience gifting sites out there. But companies hate them, especially the kind of companies that we want to attract, experience providers, higher end restaurants, and experience providers, because they are seen as devaluing their brand. So it kind of cheapens the brand, and so a lot of places don't want to sign up for that. That's on the retailer side or on the experience provider, but also on the customer. Would I want to tell my family, all of my family, hey, buy me all of this Groupon? It doesn't have that kind of aura around it, of value. So yeah, I think it's a great question, but I'm not, I guess I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah, in the back, real quick.
I think you've got a good plan. I'm getting married in October, so well done.
Oh yeah, sign up.
Again.
That's okay.
It was right.
Sorry. Yeah.
They'll give you 20%?
Yeah, so this is, because this is being filmed somewhere, I couldn't put anything lower than what I'm gonna start out with. But 20% is based on primarily restaurants, so fine restaurants' profit margins, which tend to be 20 to 28%. So it's on the low end, but it's highly variable by experience provider, especially as you get into, say, stand-up paddleboarding on Lady Bird Lake or things like that. So we will have to be flexible within a range, but we have to hit that, we should hit that 20% as an average overall.
Great, fantastic. All right, give her a round of applause.
So contact info is up there. You can ask after or afterwards as well.
All right, next up we have Grace.
Yeah, before I wanted to make a couple of announcements actually. If you guys don't know the bathroom where it is, guys to the left in the hall, guys close to the right. And I guess, Farin, come to the front and give you the clicker and the microphone.
Awesome. How's everyone today? I'm Vadim. I'm a co-founder of Grace, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about our product. Which one is it?
The one to the side.
Oh, all right. Got it. All right. So in today's CRM world, we are facing a very prevalent challenge. For the past 10 years, we've developed a number of very robust tools to make our sales teams more effective. However, those tools turned out to be double-edged swords. And now, majority of our sales teams spends most of their time maintaining those tools as opposed to doing their primary job, which is selling. And despite all their best efforts, on average, only 80% of sales-related tasks and activities end up being stored inside of the CRM. The other 20 which are missing cause all sorts of problems, be it missed opportunities, neglected clients, you name it. We spend thousands of dollars each month on products for which we don't realize the full benefit. Grace solves that problem by putting CRM management on autopilot, by analyzing contents of your emails, calendars, and previous changes to CRM. Grace makes automatic up-to-date and wants automatic update data inside of the CRM database. Additionally, Grace takes that data and analyzes it to provide valuable insights to your sales team, such as missed opportunities, neglected clients, and so on. So why is CRM market? I personally come from consulting experience where I experienced the nightmares of CRM deployment and management firsthand. And based on that, despite all those problems that are in the market, less than half of US businesses own the CRM solution currently. And this number is scheduled to grow by more than 30% in the next 2 years. So the opportunity in this market is huge. What is the value of Grace? In a nutshell, Grace solves a fundamental issue that sales and management have in how they view and use a CRM solution. For a sales team, CRM is typically a necessary evil, just another tool to keep the management team happy. For management, on the other hand, CRM is the valuable tool to get a glimpse of what tomorrow is going to bring and evaluate the effectiveness of their sales team. By installing Grace, both parties are going to be winners. First of all, Grace provides real-time updates to the CRM, which eliminates the need for manual labor to log tasks, create accounts, create opportunities, and so on. Second, the data generated by Grace is complete, timely, and most importantly, unbiased, which is very important for the management. Third, Grace analyzes the data that is generated and provides sales team with valuable insights, such as potential opportunities, follow-ups that need to be checked upon, or neglected clients. Lastly, Grace creates no disruption to the existing workflow. Just install Grace and what you do, it's work. We currently finished building a functional prototype for Grace and are talking to some investors. So if you're interested to speak to us, let's have a conversation either after this meeting or drop me a note at gracefromaustin@gmail.com. Also, we are looking for machine learning or natural language processing developers and UX designers with experience. So if you possess those skills, also come talk to me. And that's great. Thank you very much.
Great. 45 seconds to spare. We don't see that very often here. Let me set my timer here for this question. So, back in the back.
So you're still building the prototype, but have you spoken with potential clients, and what was the reaction? Especially because the space you're getting in, they're already used to dealing with searching tools, and you're willing to replace that. So
we're currently having no active clients since we just finished the prototype. We have companies that have signed up to test our prototype, which will be deploying shortly. And as to your questions about how we're going to compete, currently there is 1 or 2 companies that are actually doing what we're trying to do automatically. Most of our competitors, such as HubSpot or Cirrus Insight and others, they're doing it manually, which actually doesn't fully eliminate the problem that we're trying to solve, which is the quality of the data inside of your CRM.
So the question is Grace a different CRM system, or is it an add-on to the things that exist already?
Great question. Grace is an add-on, and our prototype works with the Gmail Salesforce combination, and we are also actively looking at up-and-coming CRMs to integrate with as well.
So obviously Salesforce is it.
Salesforce is a default, it's a de facto standard in the industry now. Sure. However, since it's a startup, it's a small and up-and-coming product, we are particularly interested in CRMs for startups such as Close.io or Pipeline Deals, Zoho, and some others.
Okay, fair enough. If it's an add-on, that sounds very interesting. And can you get this can you demonstrate this technology to investors?
We can. It's on my laptop. In fact, I can.
Oh. All right, over here.
So you're talking about using this on the Salesforce and Gmail combination?
That's correct.
So is it only for email communication, or do you have anything set up to also connect with, soft phone systems? I know there are soft phone systems that automatically log calls into Salesforce. Are you doing anything with that?
That's a great question. As far as the prototype is concerned, we're dealing only with emails and calendar. However, down the road, we're looking to integrate with some third-party applications such as Phone Burner and others, like you said.
Great question. I have the same thing. So not just, all right, here we go.
I was wondering if you've heard of Mautic. It's an open source CRM that came out recently.
No, I have not used it. I've not used it.
You heard of it? I'm just curious.
Should he be worried about that? Okay.
I'm just starting to play, so I don't know yet.
All right, 50 seconds. I'm kind of curious about the revenue model. How are you making money?
Absolutely. This is a good question. Since we're currently in the alpha stage, the revenue model has not been locked in place, but it's going to be something comparable to what rival solutions are offering, such as Cirrus and HubSpot. But it's going to be a tier subscription as well.
Okay, great. Last call. All right, thank you so much. Round of applause for Grace. Next, we have Chad on 3.
Yeah, just to the guys are presenting. The camera's right there, so don't be scared. Just
flash a smile.
There's a camera?
There is a camera.
I'm just gonna stand up for like 5 minutes doing this.
That's fine. That's your 5 minutes, though.
Is it right arrow?
Yeah.
Okay. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Okay, a quick show of hands. Who's a parent that has a kid who plays sports? Like 5 people. Who plays sports recreationally, like on a volleyball team or something like that? Okay, so some of you are my people, some of you can tune out for the next 5 minutes. We are on 3. We built an app that's for youth and amateur sports. We began, finger got quick. We began this journey about 8 months ago, building this product. The founders are all parents with kids who play sports. We were frustrated by the poor communication and really a lack of good opportunities, good solutions out there in the sports tech world. So we agreed there had to be a better way. We started thinking and talking and researching, and it turns out that we were onto something. Potential users told us that those reply all emails and texts really are problematic. Event changes and cancellations suck for everybody, and everybody really doesn't want as much detail as the current solutions provide. A look at our competition told us that current solutions are really built for the desktop first, and apps are an afterthought, and cost can be a barrier to entry. And so based on all that feedback, we asked ourselves, what if we could contribute to improving lives? What if coaches could stay coaching and players could keep playing? What if it wasn't a job anymore? What if it was fun again? Well, we planted our flag on this idea, and we're creating a sense of belonging in youth sports. There's huge market opportunity here, and all those really touchy-feely stuff feels good, but the big question is there opportunity? Well, look at our concept through the lens of commerce told us that it's evident where there is pain, there is opportunity, and we believe that opportunity is global. So we actually built an app. We've had a ton of great feedback on the app so far. We have about 15,000 users cranking up for fall sports. But the app actually is really just part of the equation. Let's say that you are new to town, new to a city, and you don't know where to put your kid. Your kid plays competitive soccer, and you don't know if the league that you're looking into is competitive or recreational. You Google it up, you use word of mouth, and then you sign your kid up and you suffer through a season of emails and 3 different websites perhaps, and at the end of it you hope and pray that your kid doesn't come home and say she hates her soccer team. Well, On3 is meant to bookend that experience. Now, I know there's a lot of words up here, but bear with me. So we built the front end piece, the communication piece. We want to own that because we're mobile first, and most kids with parents, they all have phones, and they take those phones with them to the field, not their PC. We also are going to build a front door, and the front door is going to ask users what they want or they need. It's going to specifically collect word of mouth and all that data and put it into a marketplace that allows parents and players to really find their match. So, what about the competition, you say? Well, the competition covers some, but not all of these silos, and each one kind of has their own take on the industry, specializing in one of those 3 areas. And really, what we're creating, sorry, there's an exit build. There we go. What we're doing is creating these bookends, and we're hoping that's the catalyst to build multiple 2-sided markets that work in sync to become an end-to-end solution, a tech solution in the sports, youth sports market. At every step of the way, there's money to be made, whether it's us or by partners, and it really is this big ecosystem of information. Everything from analytics to a lifetime of statistics, and there really is a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow if you think about big data. Our commitment really is to creating that sense of belonging for youth sports. So our vision really is to make sure that that end consumer always gets a free product.
You have 30 seconds.
Okay. Cool. Do you have a plan? Yeah. Oh, I'll go a little too fast. No, that's the right slide. Do we have a growth strategy? Yeah, here it is. It looks like this slide. There's more words and pages to it. If you're running what the front door looks like, that 4th slide down there, or the 4th bullet point, kind of has some ideas. The ask. We're at the point where we're looking for some growth capital and some strategic partners to help us move this thing forward. And if you happen to be a Cordova or a PhoneGap developer, we're also looking for you. Thanks a lot for your time. I'm Chad, and this is On3.
I think this is really interesting. Believe it or not, I coach 6th grade boys select basketball out in Dripping Springs.
The app is available on iTunes and Google Play.
I no longer coach because I was trying to finish a graduate degree at the same time. And so I really struggled with managing the team, the parents, and the emails, locations, and all that stuff. So yes, this is for parents to find the correct league for them, right? So it's like helping in logistically, but what is it doing once I'm on the app? What are the parents going to the app for once they've been placed on the team?
So once you get to the app, there are really kind of three sections too. We call it the team section. There's a communication section called a stream, and then events. It's really those three things that parents and coaches and players care the most about. The team really is who's on the team, who are the parents associated with the team, who are the fans. The one thing I didn't do in this 4 or 5 minute speech was tell you more about the app itself, but there was a whole bunch of people who care about kids' sports, grandmas and grandpas and uncles and aunts and all that kind of stuff too, that want to know what's going on but don't really want to be all that involved and show up at the field. They can be on this app and get that information. Stream is what you think it is. It's communication, it's notifications, it's hey, on games rained out, push notification, that kind of stuff. And then the calendaring bit is everything you can think of, right? Which is I can cancel something if I'm a coach because it's rained out. I can edit it. Hey, we need to move the game back an hour. All that kind of stuff. And then it all syncs with your phone too. So if you're one of those people who are like, hey, I gotta use my iTunes calendar, it syncs up with that as well.
And this goes youth sports through high school?
Youth sports through high school, hopefully, yeah. High school so far has not been a market that we have necessarily pursued, but we think it's viable there.
All right, same to you guys. Guys, you ready?
Okay, so you've got 15,000 users. Have you validated your business model, revenue model, brought in any revenue so far?
So our strategy has been one of collect a bunch of users first and install the revenue model second. Our revenue model really is going to be based on sort of an in-app purchase, so a premium, kind of our freemium model for folks. So there will be some functionality that people will pay for. There's also the whole league level kind of communication that goes into this app as well. And that also will be something that we'll charge for on the app side. On the front side of it, there are opportunities for rev share, there's opportunity for advertising model kind of stuff, so there are other possibilities there as well.
Real quick, and how are investors reacting to this?
So far, so good. We've had a couple of meetings with investors. We have a second meeting with some heavy hitters actually tomorrow. And so we'll see what they say. But they look at this and they say, you guys have solved a pain, which is good. The one thing that they all ask about is, yeah, sure, what about the revenue model? So
how are you going to make money? Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
In fact, I was going to ask where's the money, but you kind of covered that ish. The other point would be go to school districts. My boy's in 9th grade football, and the app they've given him is incredible. We know more about the statistics about him running around in the field getting hit by other big kids than I've ever known before.
Can I ask what app that is?
You can. I don't know.
So it must be good then. No, there are a bunch of people out there who really are concerned with the statistics bit of it, and that is a fascinating bit when you think about the big data play here. We've talked to some folks too, some potential partners, and they have data on concussions. So there's all kinds of really interesting stuff that can be associated with this.
Yeah, I'm thinking you need to plug this all into the Fitbit stuff too. And
if you've got a contact at Fitbit, then let's talk.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Round of applause. Next, we have Code Wizard HQ with Jay. All right, man. Looking forward to hearing about the wizards.
Yep.
Oh, Amron. Okay, cool. Let's make sure you hold that mic real close to you.
This is me too.
Y'all having fun?
Yeah.
Woo-hoo! Lots of beverages left. Look at this. Live online coding education for children.
Hi, good evening everyone. My name is Jay and I'm one of the co-founders of CodeWizard HQ, and here is Ron, my co-founder. So we want to talk to you a little bit about CodeWizard. So coding has become a fundamental skill, just like math, reading, and learning, right? We don't teach kids how to write so that they'll become novelists. That's not the idea, right? Similarly, we don't want to teach them to code so that they really become developers, but it is more to navigate the world around them. But there is really no good option for kids to learn how to code, right? But how do I know? Because I have searched, I have looked. The last couple of years, I've been trying to teach my 8-year-old daughter how to code, and I have looked and researched a lot, and I couldn't find a real effective option out there. So what I had to end up doing is I learned how to code. I went through the internet looking and collecting resources and sat with her and taught her how to code. So that's when I realized that there is a bigger opportunity out there on teaching kids how to code. And that's how the CodeWizard was born. I want to talk to you a little bit about how we are different. Yeah, okay. So the first is, it's a teacher-led online class for coding. So one of the things that I originally thought was that all I need to do is find the resources, and then really if I point my daughter to the resource, and then she will figure out how to learn, like Code Academy, etc. But that's not how it works at all, right? she gets stuck every 30 seconds, like just a kid. So what I had to do is I had to teach with her, explain the concepts, walk, and then when she gets stuck, ask exploratory question and get her unstuck. In essence, do real traditional teaching, and that's the only way that it was effective. Right, so what we want to do is real online teacher-led classes. Another thing is real coding. There's a lot of coding classes out there that actually use not the real coding. So what we want to do is we want to teach them starting with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, etc. And right from day one, they'll be on real coding, real code editor, doing real website development. And we think that the power and possibility of the real deal is incredibly exciting for kids. And I think we want to offer that, and I think that will be much more than what some pseudo editor currently does, right? And then the third thing is that we are focused on developmental curriculum. There is a lot of work that is being done outside where they want to actually make coding just like a game-like experience. We're all for engagement. We definitely want this to be an extremely engaging experience. But what we want to do is, at every time, every effort spent by the kid in learning how to code has to be a usable skill that is built, right? So we have built a 3-year curriculum where, starting from HTML all the way to command line, it's a developmental curriculum that at the end of 3 years, they're going to have learned a usable skill that will be helpful for them throughout their life, right? And the last thing is that it's a safe and convenient option, right? At the end of the day, we are competing for kids' time. And kids are already overscheduled. And parents don't want to actually chaperone their kid around for one more class. So all they need to do, we are going to provide plenty of time slots. They can pick one time slot that that works for them, and then log in from their home and then start learning to code, right? And then it's also very safe. The parents don't have to worry about where their kids are, what they're doing. So all of this combined makes it a very killer option for kids to learn how to code, right? To tell us who we are and where we are in the process, Ron wants to talk to you.
Could you handle the clicker there?
Oh, yeah.
Great. Well, I'm Ron Clark. And Jay and I have been working together for several years on online projects. I started as a math teacher in public school, so I've been through the trenches in this. I started my own training programs, had 12 locations around Texas and sold to somebody bigger, and have been working in online certifications and educational development. And Jay over here, he was a director of marketing at Dell for consumer products and small business, and then he quit that to go entrepreneurial, to work on an online community that he had created and different projects. And we're, I think, really excited about this. That where we are is we've spent a lot of time doing lean versions
30 seconds.
Of market testing, and we just taught our first class, and the kids loved it and the parents loved it. And what we're looking for is a school director type that has some teaching coding experience and wants to help us out with that end, and a tech director for platforms, web presence, all the things for that. And last but not least, codewizardhq.com. I'm Ron, and we'll both be around, and the email is ron@codewizardhq.com.
Thank you. Round of applause.
Questions?
Yeah, I clarify something for me. So this is online classes or it's traditional classes?
Online traditional classes.
Led by an instructor. That is, but it's not walking around the children helping them in an actual classroom, brick and mortar.
Just like go to meeting, go to training, think a webinar. That there's platforms for that. You meet at a scheduled time and you go through a training online.
So I see the instructor on video while I'm.
Well, I guess it's a, I don't want to say virtual classroom, it's an online classroom.
Okay.
Yeah, interactive.
Yes.
Okay. Is that clear to you all?
Yeah, interactive. I think that is.
Yeah, interactive online classroom.
Okay. Okay.
So it's like a class size will be like 5 to 8 kids. So.
Okay. All right. First question over here.
So how are you guys different from Khan Academy?
Okay, great question, right? So Khan Academy, there's really no teacher there for Khan Academy, right? It's just a one resource that is available, right? But kids don't learn that way. You can't really point them to Khan Academy and say, okay, go learn coding. What is missing in Khan Academy or Code Academy or anywhere is there is a live teacher who actually takes a concept, explains them, and makes the kid understand. This is what we want to do, is to bring the power and the proven effectiveness of traditional teaching with the power and influence of online medium. Because, you know, with my daughter, I exactly did that. I looked at Khan Academy, I looked at Code Academy and said, okay, here is it, go learn. 10 seconds, she's stuck. So then what do you do?
So yours is not self-help, these are instructor-led.
Instructor-led.
We'll have a
curriculum.
We have a curriculum that is very much focused on engaging kids, and through teachers, we actually teach.
Okay, here we go.
Good idea.
Thank you.
How would you scale this? So, for instance, if you have 1,000 kids sign up for this product, you said it's a real life. I mean, you have instructors and teachers, real life, teaching these kids. How are you gonna scale? If you have 1,000 kids and you only have maybe 20 teachers, how do you scale that? And how do you basically get money or make profit if those kids are paying a lot of money and you only have a few teachers to teach them?
Well, you have lots of teachers. that the reason why this is scalable is because it's not bricks and mortar. That the instructors can be anywhere, the kids can be anywhere, and you put them together with the right platform. And that the kind of instructor that we're looking at is a graduate student, junior college, and somebody that wants to make some money on the side.
All right, here we go.
One more thing that I want to add, that's a really important question, because the reason why we think many people haven't done this is because there's a lot of bodies involved, right? In the tech world, what they want to do is to do something that is online and that just scales infinitely, regardless of its effectiveness, right? But what we want to do here is we want to know what's effective, right? And so the teaching is effective. Now we put a quick Craigslist ad and said, well, we want teachers, right? Ron did that. It was just on a very off post there, right? We quickly got a lot of people who want to teach. There is a lot of interest in wanting to teach, and they're less than $15 an hour. There's a lot of people wanting to teach coding. The thing is, we want to scale it by making the curriculum teachable by somebody who doesn't have to have super good experience in coding, right? You break it down, you make it a lesson plan so that anybody with a very minimal amount of training can teach. Then you do that, you infinitely scale quickly.
Two parts real quick. So I'm looking at this sort of like Kaplan for GMAT that you have an instructor-led 5-15 weeks or whatever training to do that. Is that a fair similarity?
Kind of, sort of. Let's go. Yeah.
Okay. So assuming that model works, I think this is great. I'm trying to get a sense of how effective it is and what age can one start teaching your kids program. Have you kind of looked into what educators think about that?
Yeah, I think we think about 7 is the starting point, 7 years old. And I think 7, 8 would probably be the right time, because I think at that time they have all the concepts and type A, little concepts to really pick up, right? And we think that it is between 8 to 14 is the sweet spot, right? Between 8 to 14. And we have built that 3-year curriculum, so we think that once we acquire a student, they stay with us for 3 years kind of thing. That's the idea, but it's just like swim classes, right? You be there for residence.
Great, well that is all the time we have, but you have plenty of questions here. Raise your hand if you have a question. You guys will ask him after we're finished with the rest of the pitches. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you guys.
All right, 5th pitch in the night, World Gift Stores. You're up. Satish.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, you'll take Johan's mic there. We got 5 minutes.
You should want to show this first. Yeah, but it's going to take the screen.
Hello everyone, my name is Satish.
Hold the mic up.
My name is Satish, and my idea is not a mobile application, it is traditional business. And this wasn't my background. I came to graduate school in New York. After finishing law school, I did CPA and I started working on Wall Street. And I did balance sheets, I did trading floor, I did everything. But the connection here is, before I went to do this, and before I started working on Wall Street, I worked in the Diamond District in New York. And that was the job I kept to support myself through school. I sold diamonds and I sold emerald, ruby, sapphire, all semi-precious stones, all kind of jewelry. But I found it very, very fascinating. Jewelry, how jewelry, I went to mines, I went to cutting centers, I went to jewelry making centers, I traveled around the world. And I thought that business was more fascinating than the balance sheets I was doing. And I'm still fascinated by how it is done. So I worked in New York, and after World Trade Center, after surviving the attack, I moved to Austin. And that's the time I decided that I'm going to do something with what I learned. And I travel around the world again. I traveled to biggest centers. And the jewelry that you're seeing here is made in Russia. This is authentic amber, and the insects are 30 million years old, and everything is certified. So why this jewelry store? I have about 4 stores, and every store is a niche store. So why do this, and why am I different? And my idea was to do niche stores that would stand out among many. If you type amber fossil pendant, you will see me on the first page of Google. So that was my idea. So there are lots of designs I personally buy. I go with the loop and tweezer, I buy them, I bring them here, I take photographs, I put it on the web, I write descriptions, and I do everything. So 4 stores are ready, I'm adding 3 more. So I would like to go to the presentation.
You're right, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so the stores, the features of the stores are 4 stores live, 3 in testing. I also have full Facebook stores integrated, very easy checkout, good shopping experience. I funded them all by myself so far, all built after hours. I still hold a full-time job. I have expertise in jewelry and back office. I did all stores myself. I've learned technology, but I'm no expert. I have about 15,000 plus products, all genuine, all certified, competitive pricing, well presented. I give full guarantee, free shipping, 30-day returns, certificate of authenticity, and quick refunds. We're doing pretty good, but I'm the only guy, who work full time, go home, and I do this. So, marketing, I've done almost all on-page SEO and all those things, online marketplaces. So the proposition here is, there are about 10 roles. I figured out that the 10 roles do the job. Purchasing, finance, fulfillment, graphics, and back office, which is everything, refunds, invoicing, taxes, compliance, I do everything myself. But I can use help in 5 of those roles, which is managing products online, technology, which is shopping carts and server and things like that, channel master, this is what I want to focus on. Channel master meaning selling on Amazon, eBay, Bonanza, Etsy. There are about 35 channels around the world. And I want to be able to sell more on these channels. I just got approved in fine jewelry in Amazon recently. Then SEO and traffic, which is analyzing Google Analytics, analyzing traffic, analyzing on-page optimization, and then social media. My model is, if you have seen BlueNile.com, it's an online jewelry store. They started sometime in '99. They sell about $400 million online. And they only do fine jewelry, engagement rings, eternity rings, wedding rings. That's all they do. So that was my model. And I have tried to mimic and come very close to that. But what I'm experiencing is I'm falling short because I don't have help. So I'm inviting people who have passion. Nothing that I'm asking here is complicated. Everything is learnable. If you know anything about e-commerce, we can do it. I just want people with a passion and similar interest. Thank you.
All right, round of applause. Certainly been experiencing lots of growth. When was the first store opened?
About 2-3 years ago.
2-3 years ago. Yeah. Okay. Who has the first question? All the way in the back.
You mentioned you had some certifications for the pieces. What's the certification process and how much?
Sure. First of all, while I was working in diamond industry, I went to GIA and I became a gemologist. But for this certification is for amber, for example, I have certification from the origin. For example, the Russian Amber Institute will give a certificate. On top of that, I give my own certificate. I give the origin, I give the inclusion, variation description, I give all the details on the certificate. For diamonds, for example, if your ring includes 1 carat and above, I get the GIA or AGA certificate, which is world renowned. There's nobody better than that. So if you buy a diamond ring, you can take it to any lab and verify my certificate.
And how much does that amber piece cost?
This one, the one that you saw here, that was $750. But that's in gold.
$750.
And that's made in Russian gold.
Hi, I'm just curious. So, how do you? So when you go out and you purchase stuff, you travel to Russia to buy stuff. How do you certify the authenticity of what you're buying and you put it on the website? How do you certify that? And how do you pass that across to consumers to know that what you're selling is authentic?
Right. Since I worked in the jewelry industry.
Put your mic up so we can hear you a little bit more.
Since I work in the industry, I know the process. I know who the suppliers are. I know how the jewelry is tested. That's why I said I go with the loop and I go with the tweezer. I pick every jewelry piece, every gem. I loop it. I make sure it is right, and I deal only with people who are authentic. And on top of that, I get certificate of origin, certificate of authenticity from the place it comes from.
Great.
Are you bringing all this stuff back here and shipping it from the U.S., or is it being direct shipped?
No, it's shipped in the U.S.
Okay.
Yeah. And I picked some specific centers like Russia, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Bali, Indonesia, India, Hong Kong. Those are the places I go to. I do not buy from anywhere, any middleman in New York, Los Angeles, or anywhere in the middle.
Question up here.
So I don't know if this was answered, but do you are you making revenue right now, or the sales happening?
I'm making revenue, but the sales are low because I'm only doing it part-time. And that's what I want to solve. I want to scale it up with more help. I have everything figured out in terms of what I need to do to scale up the revenue and how to fire on all engines. If I fire on all engines, then the revenue will come.
All right, we have time for one more question.
Are you only shipping US?
No, I currently ship almost everywhere. Most of our shipments are US, London, and Australia.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
One last pitch for the evening, right here, right? John Fitch with Docs.
Yeah.
All right.
You want to do it now? All right, we'll do a raffle, guys, and then we'll have John Finch do the last presentation. So if you have a business card, just drop it in there, and I don't know, what are we offering? A T-shirt or something? Okay, we're offering a T-shirt. And next month, we're actually going to have a special for you guys who register early. It's going to be only $5, so I'll send an email out for that later on this by tomorrow. Let me go ahead and bring her
One
up.
more behind you.
All right.
All right, whenever you're ready.
Awesome. So I'll be like most of everyone, start this with some questions. First question, who likes watching documentaries? Who thinks most advertisements are boring and bullshit? Great. Well, my company replaces traditional advertisements with quality documentary content. So what we do for brands, the other 99% of brands, is what Patagonia and Red Bull has done, which is true content marketing, which is provide the target audience what they actually want. And they're behind a ton of award-winning documentary content, both feature and short. We're a content as a service platform that allows the other 99% of both filmmakers and brands to do the same thing. When it comes to a marketplace, I think your most important element is your quality of inventory. We currently work with 400 and growing of the world's top award-winning doc producers. We've got about 3,000 identified that we're slowly onboarding because the golden standard is really important to us. The point is, all of our talent we represent are what we call story scientists. And so we allow brands to finally work with them. In terms of the content that we actually provide, so we take a documentary filmmaker's next great story, whether that's long form or short form, provide social analytics behind the audience, and also do a brand audit for the brand and show that this filmmaker actually is right in line with their next story with the brand's current campaign content marketing goals. We help manage the content in today's what we call social TV. So the same documentary takes on about 18 different versions, everything from a Snapchat to an Instagram video to now Spotify, Reddit is getting in the video game. So we help manage for the modern audiences. But again, we're working with award-winning doc filmmakers. So just like Red Bull and Patagonia, we allow the brand to have traditional offline implementation and engagement at Cannes, Toronto International Film Festival. So we like to cover the entire gamut of potential impact. We also are futurist, and we've pioneered a lot of things in virtual reality documentary. Documentary filmmakers' whole goal is to provide perspective, and when you put on a VR headset, that's exactly what it does. So whether it's 2D or now VR, the business is still the same. This is just a new product that we're excited about. And if you ever want to come get a demo and have your mind melted, we're at WeWork downtown, because there's life before VR and life after VR, and hopefully all of you can crossover eventually. So, sorry, this is not like a pitch. This is normally what our sales team is out pitching, so bear with me. The point is, we're a complete content as a service, so some brands come with us already with ideas, and we help work with them and co-create. Some say, hey, we need help, we want to be relevant, so we're all the way from ideation to distribution and potentially monetization, but any brand at any size and any budget, we connect them with a quality film opportunity. And who all in here likes binge watching? I'm guilty of it. So currently, brand buyers, marketing executives do what I call binge meetings. They spend a ton of time in content meetings, whining and dining with traditional ad agencies who are taking their money and spending the majority of it on politics and bureaucracy, and very little of it goes to actual content making. So our platform allows them to sit back instead of binge meeting. They binge watch current doc opportunities that are happening around the world, very in line with their brand, and make purchase decisions accordingly. So it's a very entertaining discovery process for the brands, forward-thinking brands of tomorrow. This is my email, john@dox.tv. We've got a ton of early customers. Just signed a pilot program with the world's largest content marketing firm called Hill & Knowlton Strategies. Don't need investment, but there are some institutional firms like CAA Ventures and Disney who are all thinking about investing in the future of entertainment. So we are talking to those. I'm here because I had to do one of the toughest things a founder has to do, and that's let go of people. And my product team, the majority of them were, I would say, a meat cleaver, and I need Swiss Army knives. So if you're thinking of a Swiss Army knife, that's what we're going to have in our arsenal. And also, if you just are a designer or an entry-level developer, we'll be hiring for that soon. But I'm most interested in who's going to be our Swiss Army knife and product. We're having a lot of fun. Completely rebuilding the product too. Our MVP, which was released, was used by a lot of early brands. We filled our inventory that'll keep us busy for about a year, liquidating that inventory. But now with these early pilot projects, which through Hill & Knowlton represents upwards of 40,000 brands, so our pipeline is filled with brands to play with. And based on that, we're going to build a product focused on their exact needs. So, thank you.
Great, thanks, John. Who has the first question? Very interesting. I really liked your slide deck, really pretty.
Thank you. So I am a YouTube creator, and the world of YouTube monetization gets really complicated. You said that you guys work on YouTube and work on that platform. How can switching out, or how can working with you guys change that monetization process?
We actually don't work with YouTube. We're kind of anti-YouTubers. That whole model only works for the elite few that can get enough subscribers. Also, YouTube monetizes through traditional advertising, which is interruptive. What we do is we represent a filmmaker's next project. We help package that up in video-based proposals instead of a PDF document where you have to write a novel. And what we do is we give you the ideal budget for your project. There is potential back-end monetization. There is no one-size-fits-all deal, but we're doing everything from a $5,000 deal with a filmmaker to shoot things for GE for 2 weeks, all the way to a $1 million plus feature film. There's no one-size-fits-all. The point is, filmmakers can finally have resources to make quality films. So we're all about getting you the budget so you can pay yourselves, your crew, brand gets content for the month, the quarter. It's about teeing up those ideal relationships. We're not based on performance. Our filmmakers have already shown that they can perform.
Perfect, thank you.
I kind of have a question about these documentary filmmakers that you have in your arsenal. Don't those filmmakers make movies based on their passion, their curiosity, and what they're interested about? And if, say, I come to you as the Pitch Academy, as this consulting firm, how are they going to know to create really awesome content for that when they're normally out in the Serengeti shooting like crazy stuff like that?
So there's a reason one of our marketing lies is we work with award-winning doc filmmakers and forward-thinking brands. And I'm not saying you're not a forward-thinking brand. The point is, a lot of times, most times, the filmmaker's goals, each one of those filmmakers has a different content vertical they're very passionate about and have a proven body of work in. And there's a brand that cares about the same issues. Now, some brands like GE can be more broad and can go after larger issues. But there are some, for example, Right Side, which is a domain extension company. They're working with us because they're going to be releasing .news, right? It's pretty direct, it's pretty focused. So there was a series of doc filmmakers that said, hey, we want to work on short documentaries that talk about the future of news, match made. And so the content we represent, we don't go to a brand thinking and trying to get really creative. We're saying, here's this audience that watches this content, that has been talking about this content on social, here's the analytics, and your brand cares about that same audience. So here's your direct line to engagement. That is, right now we're a one-way street model because that's where we can liquidate the fastest, but we are opening up for a two-way street because a lot of the forward-thinking brands come to the table with great ideas, and a filmmaker, he or she may not know what their next idea is, and they can go out and start grabbing social content for them to work on a proof of concept to turn into a larger documentary. So the true solution is making sure the matches are very accurate.
So the value to the brands that, I don't know, sponsor or buy the films, is it basically that they show up as brought to you by X, or is there some content about their brand that ties into the story? Like, how do they get value?
Yeah. So the number one thing is authentic content. So we've been discussing that. Second thing is authentic delivery. So when we're talking about multi-format distribution, we integrate a brand in a different way. The one filter is that it's not interruptive to the audience. So to answer your question, a lot of the ways we do it is, instead of the beginning of an award-winning film, instead of seeing MGM or Warner Brothers, it's the brand. And again, Patagonia and Red Bull have led that way, that subtlety wins.
All right, one more question.
And they do have rights to all the exclusive footage.
We'll make it quick.
So if they do ads, they at least are better.
Sure, just quickly, it sounds really neat, and it's not quite clear from what you said. It's not really a talent agency. You talk about connecting, but it sounds like you manage it as content through lots of platforms. So really, you're more the media agency, and you've got talent, but you're stay in the middle, not just connect them.
That's right. Okay. So if you were a potential investor, like I just got back from pitching CAA, in their eyes, we are the modern nonfiction video CAA, which is all cloud-based, because independent doc filmmakers wear about 18 different hats, and it's very difficult. We take off like 16 of those hats so they can focus on story and their craft. We handle everything else online. But the long-term play is we're going to be a media company, and the media companies of tomorrow are technology companies focused on video and their side door, and then eventually, once you have the user traction and viewer traction, you can decide to go front door, which, if Apple TV ever re-releases, may be huge for us. But for now, you could call us a talent agency, and I'm not going to be mad at you.
Good question, guys. That was the last presentation. Thank you, John. I actually know John for a while. Last time I think you were doing some 3D stuff, right? Videos, so definitely keep up with this guy. We're going to be raffling 2 shirts, actually, is what I heard. So I'll get somebody over here to scramble this and pick up 2 business cards, and whoever comes out can be with those 2 young ladies, and they'll get you a shirt based on your size. You pick it, man. I'll be the one thinking. No, really? Okay. Melissa can have one already. All right, salsa movie, Boris. Woo, Boris! Just meet with those 2 young ladies, pick on one. And they'll get you a shirt. Those 2 in the background. And IBM, God, that's gonna be tough. Okay, there you go. Sorry about that, if I messed up your name. So this is how it goes, guys. We're done for the day. We're gonna turn some music on. And if you guys haven't yet signed up to the TechMap website, I suggest you guys do so. It's free. You guys can connect there. If you don't get to meet everybody, I know this is a big room, but you should sign up there and connect with others, tell where your talent is, put your pictures up. Hopefully we'll see you at the next event. And we'll be, like I said, doing a $5 for the next event for the first people to sign up, the first 20. And for the presenters that want to come and present, we'll have Melissa give you guys 15 minutes. We'll give her, she can talk to you guys and kind of help you with your presentation. And that can get you a better deck or get better at being up here in front of people. So that will be basically what we're trying to do for people that actually are presenting for us. and get you guys going. But I'll turn the music on by 9 o'clock. I'll turn it off, and we'll stop networking. But right now, it's just time to network and make those connections, talk to other presenters. Thanks them all for coming and presenting. We really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.